That's exactly what you saw in the headline, folks. Trump woke up to the news that his aircraft carrier was bombed today. The world is facing a military collapse that no one can hide anymore. In less than one day, 5 continents were hit by nearly simultaneous attacks. Aircraft invading NATO countries, warheads of destruction, and ground invasions are bringing the world closer to an apocalypse, and the planet begins to feel the real scent of a global war. In the Middle East, things got out of control. An Islamic leader ordered a bombing on a US aircraft carrier. Trump, trying to mediate peace, woke up to this news. That leader was eliminated the same day. Meanwhile, Israel ignored the ceasefire and invaded Lebanon as pressure for an international force in Gaza grows every hour. Pakistani generals diverted international aid and funded death squads with stolen humanitarian money. In South Asia, terror returned in full force. A suicide bomber exploded, killing 7 Pakistani soldiers near the Afghan border. Islamabad responded with heavy bombings, ending peace in a conflict that threatens to drag the entire region into open war and fuel a global conflict. Now everything is mixed. The Middle East, Asia, Europe, and South America have become pieces of the same war scenario. Aircraft invade enemy airspace, governments exchange severe threats, and nuclear powers quietly prepare their warheads. What once seemed contained has turned into a global struggle for territory and power that could spiral out of control. A top religious leader was caught keeping a secret harem of young people in a luxury underground bunker. And today comes a different question. Everyone talks about the Antichrist, who will bring peace to the world and then lead it into final chaos. Whether you believe that story or not, who would be that leader who seems good but is actually the devil in disguise? Speak freely, he surely won't see what we're saying. Just a reminder, this report is based on news from Sky News, The New York Times, BBC, The Guardian, Al Jazeera, Sputnik, RT News, and Telegram. But before we get into the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Your subscription means a lot and helps you stay updated on every story about the raging nations. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up to help this project grow even more. In the Red Sea, the extremist group from Yemen claimed to have hit a US aircraft carrier with missiles and drones. The attack happened near the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, one of the world's most important trade routes. The US fleet reacted immediately, and the sea turned into a battlefield. The spokesperson for Yemen's extremist group promised more attacks on Western ships, calling it a response to bombings in Yemen. Experts warn that if this escalation continues, it could freeze global trade and plunge the world into a naval war no one wants to face. Analysts say this was the most daring operation by Yemen's extremist group in the entire war. They're using long-range drones and Iranian missiles capable of hitting distant targets. This offensive puts the US in a dilemma: negotiate a ceasefire or strike with full force. The Pentagon confirmed it intercepted part of the projectiles but admitted some hit civilian vessels. The situation is so tense that even British and French ships are on high alert. At any moment, a new offensive could trigger a global conflict at sea. The war atmosphere grows every hour. While Yemen celebrates the attack as a victory, the United States calls its NATO allies to redesign maritime defense plans. One more shot could be the point of no return that determines the West's entire response. American officers sold secret coordinates to private companies in exchange for billion-dollar contracts and political favors. Israel confirmed it killed Mohammed al-Gamari, the main military commander of Yemen's extremist group and one of Iran's top allies. The airstrike hit his convoy in Sana'a and also killed his 13-year-old son. Tel Aviv called the operation a direct strike at the heart of the Iranian axis. Netanyahu made it clear that no one who attacks Israel will go unpunished. It was a tough message to Iran, which funds Yemen's extremist group with money, weapons, and technology. The death of al-Gamari changes the game in the Red Sea and could turn the indirect Iran-Israel war into open confrontation. In response, Yemen's extremist group vowed heavy revenge. Spokesman Yahya Sari said, "Enemy ships will be turned to ashes." The threat was taken seriously. Civilian vessels have already suspended operations in Eritrean and Djiboutian ports, fearing an imminent retaliation strike. Israel placed its southern bases on high alert. Surveillance drones and Iron Dome missile batteries were positioned to intercept attacks from Yemen or Lebanon. The White House reaffirmed full support for Tel Aviv and warned that any new offensive would bring a joint response. The death of al-Gamari opened a new cycle of threats stretching from Yemen to Gaza. Iran's allied groups are attacking on several fronts, while Washington weighs a direct response. If Tehran strikes back, this chain of retaliation could become the most dangerous war in decades. Netanyahu is accused of profiting from arms trafficking and inflating defense contracts with disguised Iranian businessmen. Iran's reaction was immediate. The regime warned that any new American or Israeli attack will be treated as a declaration of war. Analysts say the atmosphere is the most tense in years, and if someone pulls the wrong trigger, the conflict could involve nuclear powers. Trump, back in the White House, raised his tone. He said he would completely eliminate groups like the extremist group of Gaza and the extremist group of Yemen if any U.S. ally is attacked. The speech was seen as a warning that Washington may launch military actions even before another attack happens. Israeli sources claim Iran is moving heavy weaponry to Yemen and Lebanon. Satellites spotted convoys carrying Fateh 110 missiles and Shahed 136 kamikaze drones. It's the largest arms buildup in the region since 2022, and tensions keep rising. Egyptian intelligence believes a coordinated offensive between the United States, Israel, and Saudi Arabia is being prepared. The plan would involve simultaneous strikes on Iranian bases and naval blockades. But any miscalculation could push the planet into a world war. The Middle East stands on the brink of military collapse. Troops are mobilizing, jets take off non-stop, and entire bases are on alert. Everything suggests the next move will come from Tel Aviv or Tehran, and when it happens, it could permanently change the balance of global power. Trump was accused of covering up disappearances of journalists investigating secret Pentagon military contracts. Israel broke the ceasefire with the extremist group of Lebanon and resumed bombings in the south and east of the country. According to the Israeli army, the targets were the group's strategic bases, but the Lebanese government called the attack an international crime and confirmed civilians were among the victims. The UN released a report stating that over 100 civilians were killed since the last truce agreement. Israel claims the extremist group of Lebanon rebuilt military structures in restricted areas. Explosions hit regions near Tyre and Nabateh, reigniting global outrage. Even under global pressure, Israel doesn't back down. The government says the offensive is necessary to ensure northern security. France and the UK try to broker a new ceasefire, but attacks continue, showing that no one wants to stop before claiming victory. Behind diplomatic doors, London and Paris are coordinating an international force to stabilize Gaza. The idea includes Arab and European countries, as well as the Palestinian Authority. The plan aims to rebuild the region and prevent armed groups from regaining control of the war-torn territory. The problem is that with bombs falling again, the humanitarian collapse is escalating fast. Food, power, and medicine are lacking in several cities across Lebanon and Gaza. If the ceasefire fails again, the Middle East could plunge into an irreversible cycle of destruction. Israeli soldiers were accused of torturing Lebanese prisoners and sharing videos as trophies in private groups. Israel confirmed new bombings against installations of Lebanon's extremist group rebuilt after the ceasefire. According to Tel Aviv, the operation aims to prevent the group from rearming. Israeli jets struck command centers near the Syrian border, heightening tensions in the region. The Israeli army also attacked bases of the Green Without Borders Association, accused of assisting Lebanon's extremist group. The bombing destroyed depots and military vehicles. Lebanon called the act aggression and warned that if it continues, the entire country could go to war. The response from Lebanon's extremist group was immediate. It launched missiles at northern Israeli cities, hitting depots and injuring soldiers. The militia warned it would pay for every violation in blood. In Tel Aviv, the government promised retaliation so strong it could change the course of the conflict. Israeli and Lebanese troops are already exchanging fire along the border in the area monitored by the UN. Drones and artillery are in constant action, and the ceasefire is practically over. The situation shows the military escalation is out of control and could drag neighboring countries into war. The Middle East has reached a critical point. Israel, Lebanon's extremist group, and Iranian militias are in open war, and any new attack could ignite Gaza, Syria, and even the Persian Gulf. It feels like a new war front could erupt at any moment. A Lebanese minister was caught diverting humanitarian fuel and reselling it to Hezbollah militias on the black market. In South Asia, terror showed its strength again. A suicide bomber from Tehrik-i-Taliban, Pakistan, attacked a military base near the Afghan border, killing 7 soldiers. The attack occurred just hours before peace talks in Doha, forcing Pakistan to suspend negotiations. The response was brutal. Pakistan's JF-17 Thunder jets bombed extremist hideouts in the Waziristan mountains. The strikes destroyed bases and improvised armored vehicles. The government vowed to eliminate all militants involved in the suicide attack. Afghan authorities say the TTP is receiving reinforcements from tribal areas and local logistical support. The group, aligned with the Taliban's ideology, seeks to control strategic borders and sabotage security agreements, creating a war zone that could last for years. Islamabad accuses the Afghan Taliban of sheltering militants responsible for the attacks. The Afghan government denies it, but mistrust runs deep. Extra troops were sent to the border, and AH-1 Cobra attack helicopters patrol the area day and night in search of insurgents. The suicide attack reignited fears of a new wave of extremism in South Asia. While leaders try to salvage peace talks in Doha, new armed groups emerge in the power vacuum. Another attack could easily cross borders and push the continent into chaos. Taliban officials were accused of enslaving girls and trading prisoners for weapons supplied by Chinese intermediaries. What's happening in the Red Sea, Lebanon, and Pakistan shows that the wars are already connected. The United States and Israel keep attacking, while regional powers act on their own, rekindling old alliances and creating new enemies. Iran places itself at the center of everything. It funds militias, supplies weapons, and openly challenges the West on multiple fronts. The strategy is to wear down its rivals without declaring direct war, but the buildup of attacks might be the spark that ignites a global conflict. The UN tries to contain the diplomatic escalation, but no one listens. Washington pushes for a military coalition while Moscow pretends neutrality. Every bomb drop brings the world closer to a collision that could redraw entire borders and reshape the global power map. Among civilians, despair is growing. Thousands flee Gaza, southern Lebanon, and Pakistan's tribal regions. Infrastructure has collapsed, hospitals are without power, and aid convoys are blocked. The world watches helplessly as a tragedy grows by the hour. The Iranian regime was accused of running secret torture centers for dissidents, with public executions broadcast on state TV. Everyone talks about the Antichrist, who will bring peace to the world and then lead it into final chaos. Whether you believe that story or not, who would be that leader who seems good but is the devil in disguise? Say it freely. He surely won't see what we're saying. Thanks so much for sticking around until the end of the video. You're awesome, and I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any updates on the raging nations. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up to help this project grow even more.